And we're recording.
I think we're alone now.
Just be anyone around.
I think we're alone. My favorite part of that song is the wicked fucking keyboarding.
Yeah, no, that is a great part of the song for sure. So, in case you can't tell from that, and you don't remember from last week, this week's theme is the Umbrella Academy.
I'm excited. I'm pumped.
We're ready to just scream about how much we would die for Klaus Hargreeves.
Yeah. Listen, I wouldn't say he's my favorite character, but that doesn't mean he's the only good character.
No, he's not.
About the show. So, the Umbrella Academy. Originally a comic book by Dark Horse, which is, well, it's not by Dark Horse.
It's by Gerard Way.
It's Gerard Way.
Our emo Jesus.
Do you remember that TikTok? And it's like, my black eyeliner and I pump my music. Life is awful, but at least I have Gerard Way.
I saw a video today. I didn't watch it, but it was in my Recs and it said, TikToks that radiate big Vine energy.
Big Vine.
I was like, I have to watch that, but I didn't save it to my watch later, but I could probably find it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Love that.
That great little niche of TikToks that aren't the worst.
Yes. I mean, there's a couple out there.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying there's not, but it is very, like, in a specific bracket.
Yeah,
you have to find them, because if you were just to go on the app, you just get all the cringe.
Oh, no, you don't go on the app. You, like, look at the TikTok tag.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You have to seek it other places. You wouldn't find them on the app unless you dug.
So speaking of Dark Horse, I went and saw the new Hellboy movie out.
Mm.
And listen, it got bad reviews. And here's just what I have to say to that. Y'all can fuck off.
I heard it was like meh, but like David Harbour was good. That's what I heard.
David Harbour was great. The thing is, have you seen the first two movies?
No.
It's okay.
I know what it is, cause like my friend, hey Silver, hey babe, I know you're listening, love you. She's obsessed with it. I know what it is and I know about them, but they're
good. I would highly recommend all three. Here's the thing. The first two were directed, and you can definitely tell they were directed by Guillermo del Toro, the master of physical special effects. There's like a term for that I can't fucking think of.
Visual effects? Practical effects?
Practical effects. The cosmetics that he has used in his films are fucking insane. He's done Labyrinth. He did Shape of Water. He did, two Hellboy. He's just it's a masterpiece. Crimson Peak is a beautiful movie he did. And so the first two Hellboy movies are very Guillermo del Toro. And they're great. Hellboy 3 is not a Guillermo del Toro movie. It is not an expecting, like, the level that the first two movies were at. Mm-hmm. But the third movie is on a different level. It's more on the level of the comic books. So you feel like you're watching a Hellboy comic book more so than you are watching a Guillermo del Toro movie. And that's just different.
I feel like that'd be fun, though.
It is. It's so fun. It's such a fun... If you shut the fuck up...
If you just sit there and eat your food...
If you just sit there, eat your fucking popcorn, drink your soda like the bitch that you are.
Yeah, that'll get people to love it.
I mean, you know me, I'm guilty of picking apart a movie, and it has...
No, I know you definitely are.
I will say, though, the monsters in this movie are fucking rad. They're so cool. It's just a fun movie all around. It's more gory like the comics. The writer and artist of the comics was more involved with the process this time, and it shows. That's why it feels like it's more like the comics. Okay. So, if you like the comics, if you like Hellboy itself, you'll like it.
Okay.
Just don't go in expecting the old Hellboy. I know we deserved the third Guillermo del Toro Hellboy because they set it up where he was having twins with what's-her-face in the third one, and it never was made, and we still deserve that movie, but Ron Perlman's too old. David Harbour is a great replacement.
Okay.
He did great.
Wait, did you just say David Hopper?
Harbour.
Oh, it sounded like you said David Hopper. I was like, I mean, he plays Hopper.
David Hopper. But anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming to my TED Talk.
Thanks for this week, Ruby's movie review. What was your overall rating out of 5 stars?
5 stars. I think I would give it like roughly a 3.5. It was fantastic.
Decent.
I don't think I would see it in the movie theaters again.
But it was worth it the first time.
But it was worth it the first time. It was fun. I had a good time. It's a fun movie.
Join us next week when I'll review Shazam.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it Friday. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I mean, obviously, I'll tell you if it's good, but, you know.
Yes.
Okay. Umbrella Academy!
Also a Dark Horse comic.
Yeah. Could you imagine if Hellboy just showed up in season 2?
Crossover, I'd be dead.
You would actually die. Alright. Unlike the previous weeks, well, there is like some newly released Umbrella Academy merch. I have not gotten my hands on it yet, so I'm not dressed appropriately, but you know what? Even though you guys can't see me, I tell you anyway, I'm wearing my boa, so technically appropriate, if you know the show.
I'm wearing my flannel, so we're both
you're
generating very gay vibes.
I'm Jen Klaus vibes, she's generating Vanya vibes. So yeah, back to back. We're gonna scream about how much we love him. Do you wanna
let's talk about into the show first?
Yeah.
Because
I know we touched on it kind of vaguely in the first episode, but we didn't go like in depth.
so what happened was I kept seeing fucking gifs of Robert Sheen in space, and I was like, "What's this shit from?"
Ooh, he a snack.
'Cause I knew Robert from Misfits and like a couple other little things. I was a fan of Robert. I was like, "Oh, I know that guy. What the fuck is this happening?" And I was like, "It's called the Umbrella Academy. It's on Netflix." And I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Lit.
And I watched the first episode alone, and I was like, I have to stop watching this now because I need my family to watch it, I need my boyfriend to watch it, I need my bitch Gina to watch it.
So she messages me, and I think this is like around, you weren't done with it yet, but I think you were like a few episodes in at this point, and she was like, hey, watch it. It was like a week after it came out, I believe, and she's like, you need to watch it, and I think you'll really like it. Also, that Klaus is essentially Jasper, so like, watch it for that. And I didn't realize how much she was correct. Like, listen, for those who don't know, we're co-heads of the Jasper Jordan Protection and Defense Squad, so like, for us, it's kind of inevitable that we would fall in love with Klaus Hargreeves, but we gotta stay on brand. We gotta stay on brand. And so, yeah, within the first 10 seconds, he had my heart. Like, I'm not even kidding. And then I was like, oh my god, he's literally season 4 Jasper times like 10. I stan and I want 7 of him. So, yeah.
10 out of 10.
Needless to say, I watched the whole thing in the day, and then she was like, no, you can't tell me, because I sent her, we sent each other commentary when we watched stuff. She was just like, wait, no, don't send me stuff past episode 5, I haven't finished it yet, and I was like, oh.
Usually, I'm not someone who's like, I don't want spoilers, I want it, like, to be in person. I don't usually care about spoilers. This was the one fucking thing where I'm like, I don't want to know.
Yeah, I had to, like, I unsent, like, 20-something videos on Instagram because they had spoilers in them, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that to her.
Thank you.
Yeah. Here's the thing, I'll try not to spoil if you ask me to, but if you don't say anything, you might unintentionally get spoilers. And speaking of spoilers, let me just say, if you haven't watched the show, which, by the way, okay, so Netflix released, like, all the metadata. If you're not one of the 45 million people who've watched the show, my fic is essentially, it follows the patterns of the episode, so there will be spoilers because I'm kind of just shortly summarizing the episodes, but the ending does get mentioned in there at the end of the chapter, like the last chapter. So, like, if you don't want spoilers for Umbrella Academy, if you haven't watched it, like, after her fic, it's okay. I know I'm annoying. You won't have to deal with me. You can leave.
Oh, bitch! The fuck? Stop that.
I'm telling you, man, I need an emotional support, Klaus.
We all need an emotional support, Klaus.
So, yeah, that's how we got into it.
People who are like, I don't want spoilers for, like, anything can...
If it's something that's new, then you're fine. But if it's something like...
Star Wars?
Oh, yeah, no. No. Okay, if it's like a new Star Wars, then fine. But if it's like Star Wars, like, 3...
Spoiler alert, Obi-Wan Kenobi died.
Oh my god, I can't believe I never knew. I'm not a Star Wars person, and I still knew that. So... Yeah, I know you're a Star Wars person, baby. I know.
We'll do a Star Wars episode and she won't know what the fuck's happening, so.
I have, like, a general idea, but I don't...
I have another idea. Sound off in the comics. In the comics?
In the comics.
The comics. I had a revelation driving to work.
What's your revelation?
Yesterday. You know what we need to do?
What do we need to do?
Be the cringiest.
Is it like... I have a question. Is it like what we personally need to do or what people need to do?
What we need to do.
Okay.
As a podcast about fanfic. Do y'all remember a thing called Homestuck?
Oh, okay. That wasn't where I thought you were going. I thought you were going to say My Immortal. That's where I thought you were going. That's why I was like preemptively. I knew what it was, but I never got into it, and I never had like that many like deep run-ins with it. I just know apparently the fandom was very there.
We were the worst. We suck.
Oh no, I'm not gonna say that you weren't the worst, but I didn't really like have much to run in.
But it was still like shitty. You know what I mean?
It was still shitty.
Like everyone was arguing over it.
You know.
Listen, I was just here for the clown guys. I just wanted to fuck the clown guys, all I wanted.
You were the OG clown fucker?
Yeah, exactly.
Before Pennywise, there was the Homestuck clown.
Before Pennywise, there was Gamzee, Makara. Listen, he was hot, okay?
I can't confirm or deny because I've never seen him, so.
Listen, you know what? I don't regret. There were some people that went a little too far, and they were like kawaii about it. Mm-hmm. But you know, it was a good fandom. It was fun. I think they should bring it. Quite frankly, I think that they should make movies or a TV show. Because I think
they could. We don't know.
They could, but the writer does not give a fuck.
So it would just get ruined, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'd be in the corner seething.
No, I mean, I don't care anymore, but I do think that the fandom was enough for us, like, I think we should do an episode of it just to, like, bring back that, like, old 2014 cringy.
Okay.
Actually, it was kind of dead by 2014.
2012?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
2013, 2012.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. That's why I appreciate the Umbrella Academy fandom, because it's just fucking chill.
We're really chill.
Like, there's, like, one ship there's discourse about, but there's not that much because most people don't like it, and because most people hate one of the people involved in it. Like, we almost all hate the same main character, and we all love Klaus. So, like...
Everyone loves Klaus.
If you don't love Klaus Hargreeves, get the fuck out of my house.
Fuck out, bitch, dumbass.
Bitch ass. Shut your bubblegum dum-dum looking ass the fuck up.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best character.
And you know, for me, it's like, and I know you'll probably agree with this, it's so refreshing to see a character that is so much like Jasper get validation and sympathy from the fandom instead of getting shit on for having valid emotions. But and not only that, but also be the fandom favorite. Like, it's really refreshing.
It's very refreshing and it's a new experience. I also like, so I just want to say something before we start. So my fanfiction is a young Klaus young male reader. There's no smut or anything. It's very
yeah, there's not smut in mine either.
Yeah. So.
However, there is incest. all of the fics where there was fic, literally all of them were incest. So it's like I had no other option.
So was mine. Because
okay.
Every single one who writes something in it is like, you're a part of the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, I know, and I'm like, no thank you. Like, my thing is, if you want to give the reader powers, just have them be one he didn't adopt, and then it's fine.
Yeah.
But if you make them part of the academy, it's like, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, like, people are like, it's technically not incest. It's incest if you have been raised thinking that this person
exactly.
is your
Yeah, the way, the proper term for it is pseudo-incest.
And,
I watched a video about, like, Umbrella Academy shipping, and that's the term that they used in it, so there's pseudo-incest, but it's still, like,
technical term is fucking gross.
Yeah, I believe the technical term is Alabama. That's great. Okay. Speaking of, before we just get into it, one last thing. Speaking of Yee Yee, you know, the mayor of Curtistown, the king of Yee Yee himself, graduate of YYU, Yee Yee University, Curtis Connor. He said he did a video, like, making fun of, like, the cringy, like, kind of fake Imagines, and he did, like, a newer one recently, and he said his philosophy on, like, fanfic and everything, which I think is something we can use for this show, because I was like, oh my god, that's true. If you post it, I'm allowed to roast it.
There you go.
If you post it, we can roast it.
Listen, man, if you want to be out here, you got something to say, we have opinions, and it's okay. We're also not the kind of people that's, like, aggressive about this.
No.
We're not like, you suck, you need to change your ways. We're just like, this was bad.
This was bad. And I mean, you know, we're not trying to insult, like, the writing as a whole, either. We'll say, like, it's bad, like, oh my god, why am I reading this? Oh my god, blah, blah, blah. But, like, you know, if they've improved, like, that's great. But we're not here to talk about great fan fiction.
No.
We're here to talk about everyone's mistakes.
Including our own.
Including our own. I'm telling you, man, we gotta do an episode where we read our old shit.
We do.
I have such great cringe material. It's quality.
Same. There's so much anime bullshit.
All of my, literally, except for, like, 2, all of my quote have is such cringe. But I left them up because I was, like, debating deleting them, but I left them up because I'm like, no, you know what? If I leave them up, it'll show my progress.
Mm-hmm.
So, even though I never use it anymore.
Well, that's the thing, like, even if this particular piece of work was bad, or, you know, whatever reason that we decide to talk about it, it's likely A, old.
I mean, not in this case, but...
Not in this case, or B, like, you have room to improve, and you're going to improve.
Yeah, like, I definitely, even though it kind of just summarizes the episodes, I saw, like, little bits of potential, and there were, like, jokes that they added in that made me chuckle, and I was like, okay. But, like, you know, it's not, like...
It's not horrible.
No. I mean,
and neither is mine. Mine, quite frankly, is just boring.
Yeah, same. Like, I know, by the way, guys, this is not the initial fanfic I said I knew I was doing last week, because that one also followed the episodes, but it somehow, like, this one, it still does, and it adds little points in, but the last other one followed it even more, and, like, exact dialogue to exact dialogue, and this one still kind of does, but it cuts out scenes that the character isn't in, as opposed to the other one, where it was just, like, POV, 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 switch, this happened, and I was like,
How many chapters is yours?
It's 7 chapters.
Okay, mine's a one-shot, so I will be reading it.
It's 8, if you want to count the little character info thing that I'm going to read before I read the first chapter, that's short. And you can see the little thing right there. It's not that
also,
much.
I should mention, it was hard to find anything bad for this, because it's new, and the majority of the fandom is not, like, kids.
No, the majority of the fandom usually writes things, and also, like, from what she told me, because I originally went on Wattpad when we were going to do this episode, but then there was, like, barely anything. There was, like, a book of one-shots, maybe, but I didn't really see much, and then she told me there was, like, nothing really on there, so I was like, okay, I'll just go. Yeah, guys, we're not on Wattpad. This episode, we're
That's not true. I found mine on Wattpad.
Oh, you did?
But I had to really dig for it.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. She's on Wattpad.
Wattpad, I had to Google Klaus X male reader. And it came up, but, like, I couldn't find it on the app itself.
Yeah, so she's Wattpad, but I'm on Quotev, so, you know, give them some traffic before the site dies. Like, even more, like, gets shut down inevitably. Sorry. No one's using it anymore, it's so sad.
Do you remember, there's also, what it's called My Own Archive?
No.
Or something like that. It's another fanfic blog website.
Yeah, I know you. I know you don't mean Archive of Our Own, right?
Oh no, that's it.
Oh, you meant AO3?
Yeah.
Oh, well, but people use AO3 like all the time, so that's not gonna.
No, but like I never fucking use it.
Oh, I use it occasionally. I use it to read Chloe's fics, and then I use it to read these two great Balark fics. But I don't really use it. But it's like if I'm curious, I'll look for a pairing on there, and I'll be like, okay, there's quality stuff on there, you know.
I used to read Gorilla's fanfiction on there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think the last fanfic I read on there, it was
That was a long time ago, though.
It was a few months ago, and I think, not counting the Balark fic, it was, I think it was about, my man's Sam Drake.
Ooh.
God, I love Sam Drake. I love him so much. We're not gonna get into how much I love Sam Drake. If we ever do an Uncharted episode where I have to explain to her what's going on, then we'll get into how much I love Sam Drake.
Alright, do you wanna...
Yeah, proceed, booby.
Do you wanna get into this?
Yee!
Alright, this is just called Young Klaus, ex-young male reader.
Okay.
Starts with an author's note. This is a request chapter. Thank you for giving me some ideas to everyone who has requested so far. As well, I warn that there is mention of nosebleeds in this chapter, fluffy at the end though. I don't know why you have to warn for nosebleeds.
I don't think nosebleeds are triggering, but okay.
I guess it could be to like a specific thing, but general, like I wouldn't.
No, I mean if it was like extreme violence, then I'll say violence, but if it's like, oh, you got punched, I'm not gonna be like, mention of punching.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all ready for this?
How old is that by now?
I don't know, but like we use it
but
way
it's
too
fun.
often, but we ain't gonna
stop.
Don't stop. Don't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Okay. Alright. I don't know what kind of voice to do with this either.
Oh yeah, I get to do the fun of having character too, so that'll be fun to read out live, because I didn't read it out loud. That'll be fun.
Oh, God, I don't even know, because it's just like a young kid's voice. It's not even, I guess, my own voice.
Yeah, just do.
How do you do it? It's not like deep. His voice isn't deep. For a millisecond, I was like gonna be like your name, but like that's
Klaus.
That's not Klaus.
It's not Klaus. That is not a box.
Okay, I think we've.
For those who don't get that, essentially, Wyatt Olaf made this short film, and it's a little weird, but it's about this artist chick, and she makes sculptures out of boxes, and Owen is in it. And
the joke is that they're not actually sculptures.
Yeah,
but
they're just boxes. She thinks they're sculptures and like modern art and everything. So Owen comes over as this art critic, and then Jake Sim is in it too, and he's standing behind him, just being weird, just like a brick. And he's like, "What is this thing behind me?" And she's like, "Oh, well, that's a box." And he looks at Jake and he's like, "That is not a box."
It's really great.
It's so good. I think it's called what? Like, it's called Meta something, right?
Yeah, I saw it recently. I don't remember what it's called, but just look up a lot.
Meta. Just look up Wyatt and try to find the words meta. I think it's like meta conceptual.
Yeah, something like that. It's
something
basically making fun of like modern artists and how they document themselves and shit
all
like
kinds
that.
of arts, modern art, and
it turns a horror movie real fast. And Owen Teague and Jake
Sim
is in it.
Yeah. Quality boys.
It's really fun. Go watch it. Anyways, that's
Yeah, that is not a box. Continue.
That is not a box. You might hear us say that a lot, just
because it's funny.
So if you don't know what that's from,
now you know.
Episodes down the line because you didn't listen to this one, fucking suffer.
Fucking suffer. I might link it in the description. I don't know.
Ooh, do it.
Okay.
Get that clout. That's
give Wyatt them views.
Get Wyatt. Get them coins.
Cause he needs coin.
He needs coin. The movie star needs
coin. Stanley Uris, our good boy, needs the coin.
Our good boy needs that colon.
Our good boy.
I don't want to read this. Fuck.
I'm sorry.
Your name! Klaus yelled from inside the mausoleum.
Scared the shit out of me. I wasn't ready!
Mr. Hargreeves have locked him in yet again to try and force him to get over his fear of ghosts.
Fuck you, Reggie boy. The only Reggie we stand in this house is Reggie Huggins.
Yes, even then, really, it's because we like Jake Sim.
True. But I mean, out of all of them, Belch is like the least terrible.
He is, in the books, he's still
bad.
racist.
Yeah. I mean, in the book. In the movie, obviously toned it down, but...
In the movie, we don't know.
In the movie, we don't know, but, like I said in the Bowers episode, everyone liked to make him a sweet mama's boy, so...
Yeah.
That's what we're going with.
Okay.
Hot.
It was for Reggie.
Yeah, it was for Reggie.
From my diaphragm to yours.
You hear that, Jake?
That's not right.
No, it's not.
Okay. Okay. He knew your name couldn't hear him. He was probably doing his own training around this time of the day. Your name, handsomely adorable. Your name, his power was manifestation. I have such a big problem with the formatting of that sentence.
Yeah. Also, handsomely adorable.
Your name, comma, handsomely adorable.
Which is fine.
Your name, semicolon, his power was manifestation.
Oh, wait until you hear my bitch's power.
Someone took a Writing 101 college course and thought they knew how to use a semicolon. That's what that fucking was.
I've taken 2 college English courses and I still don't always know how to properly use a semicolon. Fucking fight me!
I know for a fact that ain't it, bitch.
Oh no, I know for a fact that ain't how you do it, but even I know that's not correct and I don't use them correctly.
I hate how reading that out loud sounds. Your name, handsomely adorable. Your name, his power was manifestation. How poetic.
Well, I mean, you know what? Fun fact I found out on Twitter, it is National Haiku Day.
Oh!
We should have been haikus!
Snowing on Mount Fuji. For any Game Grumps listeners who understand that reference.
I know who they are, but I don't share stuff.
There's a bit where they talk about haikus and they end everything with "It's snowing on Mount Fuji."
Gotcha.
He could create an object just by using his mind, as long as he had seen it before. It's a bad power.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're like, I'm hungry, I want a cookie, bitch.
Yeah, that it would be useful in that sense.
It's like knife.
That'd be quality.
A knife.
That'd be quality when I don't have time after I get out of my class to walk and go get food.
Yeah.
Be like, I want a burger.
I would like a
cheeseburger. A soda pop.
Unfortunately, anytime he tried to manifest anything bigger than a wine glass, he would start to get nosebleeds.
So he's 11.
Yeah. Well,
I know that's not her power, but you know what I mean.
But yeah, they're very clearly drawing from
11. Oh, question, by the way.
Yes.
Who do you think has the best power?
I mean,
or like, whose would you want?
If I were to choose one, not gonna lie, I would definitely choose Allison.
Same. I wouldn't use it for like, listen, we've established the fact, I think you all know at this point, I'm a lonely bitch. I wouldn't use it for love the way she does though. 'Cause, like, I would want that to be real. However, I heard a rumor that I had a full ride through the rest of college. Yeah. I had a rumor that I have no student loans out after I graduate. I heard a rumor that I got a few acting gigs. I'd use it for that.
I heard a rumor that you were going to donate me $10 million.
Yeah, I heard a rumor that you a snack.
Oh!
I mean, that's not a rumor, that's just a fact.
I mean, damn. But yeah, I would 110. Allison's, or I like the idea of being like super strong for no fucking reason.
So
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want that though. It's like fine, but it's like, you know, I know it doesn't automatically come with the the moon and the monkey, but
Yeah.
still.
It's
not a good association.
I guess, like, teleportation would be cool.
Yeah.
But if it's only, like, as far as you can see, then no. Because I could, like, be running late for work, and instead of fighting through traffic, which is
be like, yeet!
Yeah. Just be like, hey, bitch, I'm here.
Hey, bitch, it's me, your chair.
Side note, did you see her new video?
No, I didn't. I saw she tweeted it, but
Easter egg hunt with her dog.
that's what I thought. I didn't see. I didn't get the video notification, even though I have the bell. But I saw her tweet about it, but it got cut off. So when it said Easter egg hunt, I was like, oh my god, did she do an Easter egg hunt for the dogs? Because I don't think that's gonna say an Easter egg hunt from a boyfriend.
Oh my god.
That would be great though. Julian running around trying to find fucking eggs.
No, it's better. Spoiler alert. So Julian is the best. Julian's family is Jewish and has never celebrated Easter before. And as Jenna is explaining this, she's like, so Julian went all out for this, and it pans over, and he's in a full bunny costume.
Oh my god.
With like a mask on. And
Love that.
Like,
Love that Aries bullshit energy.
exactly. She's like, what are you wearing? And he's like, what? Nothing. Julian is kind of my favorite. He's gross
Same.
at times, but like...
but like he does it to tick her off though.
He does it to...
Because they're like married.
Everyone off.
They're not married, but they're pretty much married.
If they talk about getting married...
They're best friends.
Okay, sorry, this is taking a while.
It really is. Okay, last thing I want to say before we jump back in. You know, just because we brought up the thing, I didn't, like, I was neutral to her, but, like, I kind of liked her. More recently, I've been appreciating Allison more. To make a long fucking story short, just due to, like, things, like, actor-wise, 5 has been tainted a little bit for me, so Allison is above him in my character ranking. Proceed. I'm gonna shut the fuck up now and let you read.
In terms of character ranking, I think 5 is better because he's more developed.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, he's also more interesting. I really don't have a whole lot of sympathy for Allison because her hole was dug by herself.
It's fair.
The only time when I'm like, oh shit, was when she got her throat slit. But yeah. Anyways.
I definitely get what you mean. But I don't know, it's just also in general because I've been like thinking about it. It's like obviously, you know, I don't approve of everything she did, but I also kind of just been like liking her more in general, minus the like Sweet Home Alabama bullshit. So
I just find her very bland and quite frankly annoying. Like the acting that this actress has done, I don't know if the directing or what, but she has made the character annoying and very bland. In the comic books, she's a punk, and she's cool to look at and fun. Like, I don't understand
how it translated
into this very bland character.
How much did they, like, change from the comic book specifically, minus, like, the overly outlandish bits?
Well, so, like, the character is very, like, she's more nitty-gritty, and she's more like, I can fight, I'm a badass bitch kind of deal. Like, she's the one that can play with the boys and, like, whatever. Vanya is the more, like, the quiet, you know, innocent one of the two sisters. But that didn't translate well to the TV show because she becomes almost like when I first saw her walk out, I was like, oh, fucking black girl magic. Hell yeah. Look at her and her hair and her gorgeous face. And she walked out and then she started talking.
Let me see. Her, regardless of whether you like her or not, you have to admit her outfits are fucking iconic.
Yeah, oh no.
Styling did quality. Like, I'm like, yas. Yas.
But, like, so, like, you know that scene where Cha-Cha came in and started fighting with her in the kitchen, and she gets kicked, and she's like, I don't remember who says something, but someone says something to her, and she's like, because this bitch just pissed me off, and then she goes and fights and loses.
I mean, they all lost. I think that was more plot convenience so they could grab Klaus.
I'm not talking about the losing part, but the way she delivered, this bitch just pissed me off, was not threatening.
Yeah, there are some lines. that, like, some act, like, you want to seem threatening, but you can't, like, I know for a fact I'm not threatening.
Yeah.
I could be, like, if for creepy factor, I could be creepy more in, like, the, like, overly smiley, like, this bitch is crazy way, but not, like, the, I'm gonna fuck you up kind of way. Like, I can't, you're not gonna be scared of little 3.5 me. Like, that looks 12 holding a knife.
But she could still have, like, done more of a growl with it, or, like, you know, just given some sort of, like, oh, she's strong and she can fight. But it was just like, because this bitch just pissed me off. And it was like, bitch, what the fuck?
You know what, though, that being said, this is gonna be random as hell. Just because the show was so random, you know, I found a video of, like, them singing, and, like, she was on Broadway in Wicked as Elphaba.
Yeah.
So, like, can we get a musical episode, please? In season 2, please. It's one of the few shows. I know you hate musical episodes, but you can't deny this would be one of the few shows where it's weird enough and it would work if they did it. It would work.
Listen, that dream sequence pissed me off.
That dream sequence was out of nowhere, though, and it had nothing to do with the episode. If it was, like, written into the plot of the episode, though, I feel like it could work. If it wasn't, like, a one-off sequence. I'm not asking for, like Glee quality, like, cutaway music video things. I'm just saying, like, put in a song in a scene. Like, integrate it into the story to make it work.
That's the other thing. I think there's a big difference because the actress is a Broadway and theater actress, and the difference between Broadway theater and film are two very different things.
Yes.
Like, and I don't want to say that she's bad because she's not. I just think there could things that
better direction, maybe?
Yeah, and, like, she's fine after she gets her throat slit at that point.
Because she's not talking.
And, like, when she doesn't talk is when I, like, I don't know why. Like, that sounds so shitty, and I know it does, but, like...
I mean, at least you know it's shitty. Okay, enough about Allison.
She's not a bad character. I don't want to say that. I just think that she could have been done better.
She needs work, is what you're saying.
And now she's like, I'm the pretty girl who likes pink. And it's like, get the fuck out.
Gotcha. Okay. We're gonna have, like, a fucking 10-minute session about Allison in this. I'm betting right now. The whole thing will be, like, 10 minutes of just talking about Allison.
Alright, should I start from the beginning? We haven't even gotten through a whole fucking
honestly, probably. So, okay, enough about Allison. Let's start this shit.
Your name! Klaus yelled from inside the mausoleum. Mr. Hargreeves had locked him in yet again to try and force him to get rid of his fear of ghosts.
Fuck you, Reggie.
He knew Your Name couldn't hear him. He was probably doing his own training around this time of day. Your Name, handsomely adorable. Your Name, his power was manifestation. He could create an object just by using his mind, as long as he had seen it before. Unfortunately, anytime he tried to manifest anything bigger than a wine glass, he would start to get a nosebleed. That was the current subject of his training. Getting him to be able to manifest larger objects and stop the nosebleeds. Mr. Hargreeves had gotten mad. Your Name, try as he might, just couldn't work up the power to create an umbrella.
Ooh, get it? Get it?
This is where we crop in that scene where the umbrella falls and Klaus screams. And it's like, that's it. That's the show.
That's it. That's the show.
That's the show. He had tried for a good 30 minutes, but by the end, he still didn't have an umbrella created and had only managed to stain all the way down his shirt. So, he was told to give his shirt to his mother, parentheses, or as she was introduced to Your Name when he came at the age of 6, his caregiver. I don't understand that parentheses.
No.
Because they call her mother.
They do. They could have... I think they could have done, instead of parentheses, they could have done the dashes where, you know, it doesn't have to do with the text, but it still works there. Like, if you have to say something that's with the topic, but kind of without the topic, you know what I mean? Like, but within the sentence.
I don't, but I also don't think that the side note matters or works at all.
No, because they do call her mom.
They call her mom.
They very rarely call her Grace.
Or caregiver. Or nanny. But
no one calls her caregiver. Yeah, and then Vanya killed them all.
Can I say that scene where she kills all of them, and then she tries to kill Grace, and then her head spins around? I was like, oh, bitch, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was like, get it.
We stand one mama in this house.
Put on a new one and go outside and play. Hargreeves had a terrible habit of sending away the kids when he was mad or unable to deal with them.
So all the time?
All of a sudden, while Your Name was looking into the pond out in the garden, he heard his name cried out in a desperate tone. Klaus, he thought, scrambling over to the large, intimidating mausoleum on the other side of the property. He stood before it to try and weigh his options. Open the door and risk getting in trouble, but be there for the only person I actually care for, or walk away from him and pretend like I didn't hear anything in order to protect myself, he whispered to himself, placing his palms against the two larger-than-life doors. He decided to go with his impulses and put all his strength into pushing the door open, sitting, cowering in the corner with his hands pressed over his ears and eyes.
Poor baby.
Shut tightly. This was a scared widow Klaus.
He needs love and hugs. Those scenes of him as a kid broke my heart.
It was really, really sad.
I was like, oh baby Klaus, let me hold you.
Listen, I know each of the Hargreeves children's goes through shit a lot, but I think Klaus really has it the worst.
Klaus and Vanya.
Klaus, Vanya, and some 5 you feel bad for.
5 kind of did it to himself, because he just went to the future. I do feel bad, but yeah, it's true. The rest of them, what's the worst thing Diego went through as a child?
Yeah.
Overcoming his stutter.
I feel like that stutter was so, not...
It wasn't needed, but it was cute.
It didn't make sense, because, when it flashes back to them as kids robbing the bank, he's like, real men use knives, and he's
Guns are for sissies! Real men throw knives!
Yeah.
So
that
cute.
doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't know, but that scene where Grace was helping him was adorable.
She could have been helping him with something else, though.
She probably could have, but it was still so precious. I love Diego. Diego is my second favorite, if that makes sense. Ben is my second favorite, but he's kind of a package deal with Klaus, and Diego and Ben are on the same level for me, so they're I put Diego third on the list, but he's still number 2, so he's 2, 3. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah.
Your Name rushed over. Instinctively, his arms wrapped around the boy in front of him. Klaus's eyes shot open, surprised to see the boy he had called for. He was about to question why the boy was there, but then he decided he would ask later. Hold on to him tightly for now.
I think we're alone now.
Now, alone now. Doesn't seem to be
anyone around.
Who even knew how long Your Name could stay? He definitely wasn't there with orders from Father. Your Name was risking a lot to be inside the mausoleum. Is it ever clarified that it's a mausoleum he sticks Klaus into?
I think so. Yeah, I think Klaus said it in an episode. I'm not sure. But
where is the mausoleum and who?
It seems like it's probably behind the house or something. It's a room in there. He probably had it built.
Shit, man.
Also, my heart broke in half after we saw those flashbacks, because I just thought, what happened when Klaus first discovered his powers? He was scared then, but can you imagine how scared a 4-year-old little Klaus would be?
Yeah, 4 is really young to
I don't know when he discovered them, but you get my point.
Yeah.
How? Because I don't think they had them as babies, but oh, they did. I didn't know if
they were babies. They go through that in the first episode.
Well, I know. I just didn't know if they had the powers as babies, or they just he knew they had powers, but they didn't manifest until they were toddlers or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Either way, that's terrifying for a little child like that.
To even have opened the doors could get him in lots of trouble. Hey, calm down, Klaus. It's gonna be okay. Breathe with me. Your Name started, exaggerating his breath to demonstrate the even steady pace to try and stop Klaus's panic attack. What the fuck are you doing?
I was exaggerating my breathing.
Oh. After five minutes, Klaus evened out. Good job. See, it's fine. They can't hurt you. Your Name said, pulling away, looking into Klaus's eyes, which were darting around, clearly looking at the ghost that Your Name couldn't see.
My fucking leg fell asleep. I'm sorry. I got up to put the bow away because it was itching my neck, and my leg fell asleep.
Side note, did I ever tell you about, I was in a musical in high school, and I played, a flapper?
No, you didn't. The only musical you told me about was your Shoesicle.
That's it. it was the Seussical, and it was a bird girl, but we had like flapper gowns.
Oh, okay.
We had feather boas that were our wings, and ours was green, and we would tuck them under our armpits to like make the illusion of
wings
a little better. And by the end of each show, our armpits would be the color of our boa.
Oh, because of the sweat.
So my armpits were solid green. I looked like a heckin' Shrek.
A heckin' Shrek. A whole heckin' Shrek.
A little heckin' Shrekin.
I love you.
I love you. Hey, eyes up here, your name said, to get a laugh out of Klaus. That's a young age to make that joke, guys.
I mean, if we're going to the flashbacks, he was like 12 or 13. Beep.
In the mausoleum?
Yeah.
He was like...
Was he like 5? Because he looked older than 5. I thought it was supposed to be like 13.
He was like 7 or 8 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't Dante. I just... Yeah.
Once he had the other boys' full attention, he looked at his watch. 1:25 p.m., 1:30 p.m., and Mr. Hargreaves would put down his work and make his way outside. He would make it to the mausoleum around 1:40 p.m., like clockwork, so your name knew he had to work fast. He would have to pull off a stunt he never had in less than 15 minutes to be outside and away in order to not get either of them in trouble. Fuck, this is just...
You can't just run away like you're a little kid. You have the energy to be a crotchety old man. Like...
I just don't... It's boring.
Yeah!
This is boring. Klaus gave the boy in front of him a funny look when he saw him. Now shut his eyes tightly. Your name was trying to imagine a sort of plush doll in his own likeness. He raced to think of every detail: fabric, colors, outfit, texture.
Are you fucking serious?
Only thing left out and his plan would fail. Or one thing left out and his plan would fail.
Like...
After 5 minutes, he got the design down. 10 more minutes till they would be caught. He then took his hands from Klaus and put them out in front of him. As he stared at them with an intensity Klaus hadn't seen before. Come on, your name, he thought to himself. 3 minutes had passed. At that moment, he did it. What he thought was impossible. What Mr. Hargreaves didn't think he was even close to possible at the time. The doll appeared in his hands. This is stupid!
Is it like... Are they making... There's like two things. Are they making like a doll of himself for Klaus to hold, or are they making like a dummy of Klaus?
It's like a doll of your name for Klaus to have for comfort.
Okay.
So don't flatter yourself, your name.
You bitch.
He's a kid.
Okay, little kids can be bitches. Can they not?
At Aiden. Klaus's eyes widened. You haven't seen that before, have you? Your name shook his head. I would say, but I gotta go. Hargreaves, the grumpy old man, will be out in 5 minutes now, but take this. If you get scared, just hold it close. You won't be alone with them now, Klaus. Remember, they can't hurt you. Your name gave the other boy a peck on the cheek and then waved as he rushed out, closing the doors behind him. Listen, this would be cute if it wasn't this
brothers.
Yeah, they're also brothers. Whoa.
We got some Alabama shit in this episode. It's fine.
Listen, it can be gay, but it can't be.
It can't be gay incest.
Gay incest.
Or any incest. Incest is not wincest.
Wincest.
Oh God, that ship is disgusting.
Klaus blushed, holding the doll close in one hand and pressing his fingertips to his cheek where he had felt your name's touch. He didn't really feel all that scared anymore. Your name ran back to the pond, wiping a trickle of blood from under his nose with a slight smile in his blush. He sat at the pond edge just in time to see the old man emerge from the house. Go inside, your name, wash up, snacks will be served. I am getting Klaus. Oh, maybe I should do that in more of like an old man.
Yeah, do his British accent. This will be the episode where you guys know that we can't do accents. We're dumb.
How do you do a British accent again? Hello, Governor.
Tabs, Chloe, I'm so sorry.
Cheerio. No, I can say that. I'm 1/16 British, so.
So it's fine.
It's fine. I'm kidding. Let's see, he has like an old man kind of thing going on.
Yeah, kind of like this, like, you know.
That's Australian.
Is it?
Yes.
Didn't sound Australian to me.
It sounded
when
Australian.
I hear Australian, I think of more like the stereotypical like Australian-ish voice and not that. But not like crikey, but like a different tone. I was just trying to like get the old British in. Anyway, you got this.
I played a wizard in a play once, and I had like a beard, and I did a very like.
You were Dumbledore.
Yeah, I was like, I'm the wizard.
Do it like that.
I am the wizard.
Just imagining Reginald talking like that is fucking funny.
I am the wizard.
You are my greatest disappointment, number 4.
Number 4, fuck you.
Fuck you. And he says, fuck you right back. We're dumb.
I'm sorry, your name wasn't. That's absurd. I am getting Klaus.
I am getting Klaus.
Live like.
He's a horse now.
Also, the character of your name that they have built in this fucking sucks.
I mean, same. Okay, mine has a name, but she still sucks.
I hate that. I hate when they give a reader insert a name.
Well, it's not a reader insert, it's an OC.
Oh, well, fuck it.
But I'm just saying, like, she still sucks.
Okay. My pleasure, sir. Your name said, walking coolly towards 2 house, grinning ear to ear. The end.
Okay, that was wise.
Some dumb shit. Okay, so at first, this story doesn't suck point blank, but let me tell you why it sucks. Okay. First of all, incest is not wincest. We've been over that.
And Wincest is not Wincest either. Don't ship Sam and Dean.
Nope.
Don't do it.
PSA.
PSA, don't ship Sam and Dean Winchester.
I think it would be cuter if this was a boy that Klaus didn't, like, if it was a boy
neighbor boy
thing, and, like, they have a little, like, first time crush on one another. I think
that'd be adorable.
That would be super,
like,
super
little,
cute.
little childhood puppy love.
Yeah.
This is so cute.
It's just like, oh, this was my first love. And
yeah.
Like, does it pan out in the future? You don't know. It's a one shot.
It's like 2 8-year-olds too, so it's like...
Yeah, it's like 2... I think I would up the age a little bit, because...
I mean, you could do, like, crushes on each other. I think that's fine.
That's
but not,
true.
like, love. It's like that thing where you're kids and you're like, that's my boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
I had one of those. Only boyfriend I've ever had. I was 4. His name was Ian. We were boyfriend and girlfriend, and he went to, like, all of my birthday parties at the time, and we rode, you know that, like, ride at Chuck E. Cheese, where you, like, pedal the bike and that, like, cloud goes on, like, you know what I'm talking about? We rode that together.
Oh, shout out to, what's his name?
Ian. No clue where he at now.
Yeah, exactly. My first childhood, like, love was, this kid named Chris. We met when we were, like, 12, and he was, like, the son of my mom's high school friend, and they reconnected, and we would go and play laser tag together.
Oh, fun.
Which, looking back, was super fucking lit. Like,
so, Chris,
if
you're out there, let's go play fucking laser tag, dude.
He's married now.
Oh.
Congratulations. Just recently, actually, now that I think about it. We don't talk anymore.
Oh.
Clearly.
But how do you know that? Are you just friends on Facebook for no reason?
Well, his mom, his dad and my mom are still friends.
Oh,
so we
get
updates of one another every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom was like, oh, by the way, Chris is getting married. And I was like, lit.
Good for him.
Thanks for the update. Hope it's a lit one. Have a good one. But I wish them the best.
Yeah, good for him.
So we'll go play laser tag, though. I feel like when you're a kid and you're like 12 and you're a girl and you're like, I don't like boy things, like, you're an idiot.
That wasn't that point for me. That was like when I was little. I like, by the time I was 12, I was like kind of like getting into like superhero related things, so I was, it didn't like fully manifest to the garbage point until I was 14, but...
I mean, this kind of laser tag wasn't like, oh, we're at, like, golf and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, there's a laser tag room.
It was like a full-on laser tag thing?
Is dedicated to laser tag.
I think we have one of those here.
Like a chest
thing,
like you get shot in the shoulder or the gut or whatever. And like it was like by bases, and we would run around from base to base.
Oh,
and, like,
fun!
It was so fun.
I've never
one fucking kid that's like, ah!
I've never played laser tag, but I wanna.
It was fun.
I think we have a place here. Oh, when you come, we should play laser tag. But yeah, when you come, we should play. Let's go play laser tag, man. I'm gonna go get out of breath in 5 minutes from all the running because I'm out of shape, but it's fine.
Oh my god, I remember the suit thing that we had to wear was so unreasonably bulky and heavy that I was like, why am I here right now? Anyways, the fanfic.
Okay, so mine, jumping over to, I feel like if it wasn't Wattpad, you had Quotev. That was like back when it was Quizazz.
Or fanfiction.com.
.net.
.net, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, like, but that was like the first fanfic site, I think. So, but like currently, like anyone's childhood, you either had Quizazz or you had Wattpad, or you had both,
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, if you remember, me and Nicole said how we had to clear out a bunch of stuff from our Wattpad libraries.
That's right.
I'm in the process of doing that right now, and I'm like, why did I read this? As of right now, I still have, like, way more to get through, but as of right now, only, I believe, like, not, like, without the current ones, only, like, 3 of the ones I had back in the day have managed to stay in the library. And I've deleted, like, at least, like, 12, maybe more. I don't know. I had so much. I was like, I was crazy. Okay. So mine is just straight up called number 8. Yeah. Real original. Which, okay, let it be known, the original fic I was going to read said, in the original description it was like, but what if there was, like, another Hargreeves? And what if Klaus wasn't gay?
He's
not gay!
The author confirmed it. He's a pan boy. Shout out to my pan.
I mean, yeah, Robert said so.
He can be in a gay relationship.
But he can also be with a woman, and it's fine and valid.
Yeah.
So stop being like
a transgender person. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So just stop trying to police Klaus and say, oh no, he can't be with a woman. That's erasing his sexuality. No, it ain't.
It's not. It's a part of it. If he was gay, then yes, he would be.
And that wouldn't be fine. But he's not. He like both.
He's an LGBTQ member.
Yee.
But he is not the G. There's
this great video I saw on Twitter last night of Brendan Urie, like, on a stream, and he's like, you're gay. Just be gay. It's okay. And then he goes, you like cock.
Cock is such a harsh word.
I know. And then I said it to this group chat I have on Twitter that's like a umbrella chat, and I said, Klaus at Diego when Diego tells him he's bi. I love how that's a widely accepted thing through the fandom that Diego is bi. It's great. Whenever a headcanon is just totally accepted throughout the fandom, it's like a great headcanon.
Totally.
Okay, so, yeah, my fic is called Number 8. So original. Charlotte Hargreeves, also known as Lottie, or Number 8, was the 8th child to be adopted by Sir Reginald Hargreeves. Unlike Vanya and the others, she had more than one power. She had a combination. She could speak to the dead and see them. She had an abnormal amount of strength. She could throw things and make... She basically kind of has, like, everyone in the Academy's powers. Plus, like... I know. Plus, like, other powers. Yeah, she could throw things and make them land wherever she wanted. She could make people do whatever she wanted. And finally, an unknown power. Or many more. On the 24th of March, 16 years after Five's disappearance, all of the children are brought together by their adoptive father's death. Klaus and Lottie had always been close, but what if they get even closer? Okay, so this has 14,154 reads.
Oh, damn.
And, I mean, that's not that many on Quotev, to be quite honest. Like, no tea, no shade, but, my cringy, terrible 12-year-old written fanfics have, like, way more than that. Just saying.
Shit, mine have like 17.
Well, on Wattpad, I don't really... I have, like, one story, or two... I have 2 stories that, like, have a lot of reads. But all the other ones don't have that many. But you get what I'm saying. On Quotev, that's not that many. Also, can we talk about the cover? It's a picture of Robbie and David, and then they just have hearts around their heads. Also, before we get into this, I just want to say, petition for season 2 promo of the Umbrella Academy to include one of the BuzzFeed puppy interviews with Robert. That'd be the cutest thing.
Wait, there's a BuzzFeed puppy video interview with Robert?
No, I'm saying for season 2 there needs to be.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because it'd be the cutest thing.
I mean, we just need more interviews of Robbie in general.
Mm-hmm. Just let Robbie speak.
Yeah, he's
wacky boy.
He's such a sexy man.
He's a beautiful Irish bastard.
Have you heard that interview where someone's like, "You're not very Irish looking"? And
yes! There was a milkman that came around. Might have something to do with my brownness. Yeah, I didn't see the whole interview, but I saw that clip on Instagram. Mm-hmm. It was like somebody doing like one of those idol challenges, and it was like your idol laughing. That was the day, and they put that clip in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, before I read the first chapter, we have a preface where you learn about Charlotte. And it's one of those, like, character sheets where it's, like, name, birthday, all that thing, like, with the...
Ew.
With, not the colon, the dots. What are the dots called? I can't remember. The 2 dots, what are they called? I can't remember.
Periods?
No, the dot.
Colon.
It is a colon. Okay, I was gonna say colon, but I was like, it's not a colon. Yeah, okay. With the, like an application, kinda.
Yeah.
So name, Charlotte/Lottie Hargreaves. Birthday, 1st October, same as all of her siblings. Powers, all listed below, in parentheses. It's the same as her siblings, and also a few of her own, since there were 35 other children born that day but were not adopted, so who knows how many powers Lottie has, because she's just a fucking OP bitch. That wasn't in the parentheses, I just added that.
Oh.
And then she basically says all of the kids' powers, so Luther, strength and doesn't feel pain. He feels pain.
Yeah, when the fuck did it say that he didn't feel pain?
Yeah. Diego's throwing things accurately.
That's not his power.
I know, he can hold his breath.
He can throw knives and hit anything that he wants.
Because guns are for sissies and real men throw knives. Someone got a screenshot from an episode where they were like, I think it was when he was gone and Five and Luther were in his room. And he has this adorable little cross stitch that you could tell Grace made for him, and it's his mask with, like, 2 knives, like, crossing each other, and it says Diego on it. Aww. And it's still on his wall, and it's adorable.
That's really sweet.
Diego is precious.
I love that.
Allison's, I heard a rumor. I'm gonna do the hand thing every time. Getting people to bend at their will. Klaus, communicating and seeing deceased. Without shoes on, parentheses. Read the comics and pay attention in the series, as this is not made up by me. 5's, time travel and teleportation. Ben, she doesn't have Ben's power as it was a curse. Vanya, winky face. Her own. Okay, are you ready to hear all of this, what this bitch can do?
Yes.
Pyrokinesis, parentheses. Ability to control, manipulate, and create fire. Hydrokinesis, ability to control and manipulate and create water, which, at first, I thought that was gonna be it. Or they might make her like the Avatar, and she can just fucking bend all the elements, but no, that's not it. Metamorphosis, parenthesis, ability to change their appearance, precognition, ability to see the future, maybe in a dream, or just randomly during the day if something triggers it, such as touching an object or someone. She also gets flashbacks, so she's Raven, and also Cisco from The Flash. Kinda.
That's so Raven.
Is a future I can't see.
Let's see. That's so Raven.
To me.
I loved that show.
I know, it was so good. I'm still upset it never got a proper ending.
That's true.
It was like, hey, Corey, don't smoke. The end.
Hey, Corey, don't smoke. The end.
Hey, Corey, don't smoke. The end. Now it's time for you to be in the house.
Corey in the white.
Corey in the house.
Which, that show made no sense.
Oh, no, it totally didn't. I feel like that, even in, like, the time where, like, Disney Channel shows were, like, good, or like good-ish, because you know some of them do still hold up, kind of sometimes.
Yeah.
That one was still one where it was like, okay, you know they didn't know what to do, so they were just throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and trying to figure out what worked and what didn't, so they just made it as wacky as they could.
I mean, I remember thinking that when it first came out, and I was like, I want to say 12.
I don't remember when it came out, but I think I was younger than 12.
Yeah, I think I was younger than 12.
I don't know,
I mean,
but yeah, like, it's like...
Than 12.
Yeah.
We're both Capricorns.
Yee.
Yee.
I saw this video of Curtis saying, hey, did you know yee backwards is what a dolphin says? And he's like, ee?
Tee-hee.
No, he said ee, because yee backwards is what a dolphin says.
Yee backwards is T-T.
There's no T in yee.
Oh!
E-E-Y! E-E!
I was thinking of yeet.
Oh, no, yee.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
It came out in 2007, January 12th, so I was just freshly 8 years old.
Hey, we were both freshly 8 years old.
Yee!
'Cause we're twins.
We're not, because that'd be weird, because we're married.
Tamara.
Sister! I watched reruns of that show, but I remember, like, nothing from it. I just remember the iconic theme song.
Do you remember when they play? Did they play the Twitches? Or
Yes.
Was that just...
No, they were the Twitches.
Okay.
Go Twitches. Just... It's our birthday.
It's the birthday. Okay, continue.
Abnormal hearing, abnormal speed, ability to make things move, levitate, and change at her will, and many more that are unknown that may be found out about in this book. Because she's an OP fucking bitch.
Oh shit, it's a book. Bitch is
Yeah.
held in everything. Did you find this at Bookman's?
Maybe. I downloaded this. I had to buy this off of Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble.
Which, by the way, let me just fucking say, no, I don't want your membership. I never am gonna get your membership. Please stop asking me to get your membership. It's annoying.
Shit, bitch, I don't know why you yelling at me like that.
I'm not yelling at you. It's letting out anger.
At work, I'm like, are you a part of our membership? And like, some old lady is like, no. And I'm like, would you like to sign up with us today? And she's like, no.
I mean, I know you have to ask, but there's a difference between asking and then, like, trying to, like, convince you to get it. Oh, are you sure? Because you'll save this much money if you do, and blah, 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 and and I'm like, no, I don't want your fucking membership. Just scan my damn book or my damn pop and let me leave.
My Barnes & Noble, like the Barnes & Noble membership is, but at my work, it's like a Safeway or a Fry's card where, like, you just throw your number in and, like...
Yeah, I think you have to pay for the Barnes & Noble one.
No, then fuck that.
I mean, I wouldn't want to get it anyway, so I was like, I don't care. I don't want it. Stop asking me. Or if you have to ask me, stop being like, oh, are you sure? You know you'll save a lot of money on this. And I'm like, no, I don't want your fucking membership.
People who go, are you sure? Can go fuck themselves.
You know what I miss? Speaking of bookstores, I miss fucking Borders, dude. Borders was my childhood. Me and my mom used to go there all the time. And they had, like, so many books in that big section for, like, kids' books. Oh, my God. It was the best. Now it's just... And then it closed, and now it's just a stupid fucking TJ Maxx.
Did you ever go to one of those bookstores that carried, hand puppet animals and they're with them?
Yeah, I think... I don't know if Barnes & Noble still does. I think they used to, but I know Borders used to.
Yeah. And Borders used to have that, like, galaxy floor in the kids section.
I don't think mine had a galaxy floor, if I remember correctly, but I could be remembering wrong. I don't know, but it was a big section. It was, like, so fun. They had, like, that little stage.
Yeah, ours had a little stage, too.
If I only knew, I would totally annoy people on that stage. Let me just practice my fucking monologue in here, okay, Borders?
Okay, boys. Hello, my name is Ruby, and today I will be reading... Did you ever have to do that for competitions? Where you're like, hi, my name is... and I'm a part of Troop 0144.
That wasn't mine, because we always, me and my friends always did it in a group, we would have had a chance to get to, like, the, I think, semifinals for that competition, but you had to pay, like, $60, like, that week when you found out, and we're like, oh, we don't have $60 to give you that week, so we didn't do it. But, yeah, we always did it as a group, so yeah, we'd be like, hi, I'm Gina, and then, hi, blah, 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 hi, blah, 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 hi, blah, 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 and we're from Troop 6166, and this is, which I actually have I still have my theater sweatshirts, and one of them, because we got to, like, the board kind of voted on the slogan, but we got to vote on the color in class, and so one of them says, I have problems, and rehearsals are all 6,166 of them. My name is on the back.
Aww.
Yeah, you had to pay like $5 extra to get something on the back, but I was like, no, it's worth it. I want my name on the back.
I never did anything in a group because no one ever liked me enough to be in a group with me. So I just did depressing monologues on my own. And I would go in with, like, no friends, no one who I knew. In the room with me, I went alone, and,
that must have sucked. Oh, listen, my friend one year.
Listen, I got superiors on both.
So, like,
both times, bitch.
I think we got a superior on one, and then I think we got, like, an excellent or, like, a good on the other one. Because we did it, I don't remember senior year much. I don't think we placed that year. I think we just got ribbons because one of our people was not memorized. And it wasn't, like, where he was able to play it off. Like, it was, like, bad. Yeah, but the other two, even though he was with us in the other 2 years, I feel like it was fun. I feel like it was because another one of my friends didn't want to do theater senior year, so she wasn't in the class, and she kind of, like, she was able to, like, keep him on track. But because she wasn't there, I had to try to do that, and it wasn't easy. But, yeah, so there was, but my friend did monologues by herself, my other friend who just didn't do group stuff. And so one year, she had to do a monologue making fun of, like, religion, not, like, mocking it, like, ridiculously, but, like, a little bit, you know, like, Catholic schools. And when everybody else in the room at that time was from the Catholic school state, so they were just, like, glaring at her.
Yes, bitch.
She's like, and I don't even remember exactly, but she was like, and we, like, bow our heads like this to Jesus! Or something. It was, I felt so, I was like, oh my god, no.
I love it. Oh my god, I love it. One year, my senior year.
Theater kid stories.
I did one that was, like, very depressing, and it was, like, about a girl whose friend got hit by a train because they were, like, running away from it for fun.
For fun.
That's what kids did in the 30s.
Hey, let's be dauntless and jump on a train.
But, like, he tripped and fell, and then he stared at the train, and she watched as he basically let it hit him.
He wanted to die.
Yeah, but, like, it was really traumatic for her. So it's, like, her retelling.
Well, yeah. If you just, like, you don't get up, you just let it happen, and you can't, you're just kind of frozen, and you don't know what to do, and you just want to see your friend get hit by a train.
And, one of the judges was a coworker of my dad's, and I didn't know it. And she went up to my dad, and she was like, your daughter made me cry this weekend.
Aww.
And I was like, shit!
Shit, fam!
Compliment ever.
Thank you!
Thanks, babe.
I need to...
But that was my victory. Because no one else in that theater department really, like...
Yeah, you said nobody else gave a fuck.
Nobody gave a fuck about me. It's like, they basically acted like I couldn't act, or like
I would give a fuck about you, baby.
And then I would win competitions, and I'd be like, well,
suck on that! Yeah, no, it's like, I had my friend group in theater, but, like, even then, like, I still was kind of in the same boat, because literally, like, other people didn't want to put me, like, in their groups, just because... And so, literally, that's how I got dicked over, like, I think, because after Theater 1, when you did, like, 2, 3, and 4, like, sophomore, junior, senior year, you had to do one acts, and so they were student-directed one acts, and so it was my sophomore year, I believe, and so I got dicked over, because at first they were just gonna, one of them, who doesn't, like, I didn't really have a problem with him, but I don't know why he didn't like me, but he was just gonna throw me in tech, but then my kind of friend was in it, and she was like, no, just put her in it. So she got me in the show, so, like, thanks, but I had to be a mime. So I didn't get to talk, so that was fun. And then But, like, junior year, I got to be a ridiculous, wacky character with a ridiculous accent. So I was like, you know, it wasn't fun afterwards, because I ended up, they had, like, pizza, and then I ate it, but I think I ate it when it was, like, out for a little bit, so I was, like, I had to leave, like, after the one act, because we're supposed to stay and watch the other ones, but I was literally about to puke, and my mom wasn't able to pull over, so I got to puke out of the car window on the way home. That was fun.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, and then senior year, I was a cop. But it was fun. I got to eat a donut on stage, so.
I got to be a Jewish girl that died.
Oh, no.
That was fun.
My other cop, he was, like, funny and, like, a good dude, so I was like, I didn't have an issue with him. 'Cause we're cops. Yeah, we're cops, and we're in your shit. You won't get that at all.
We're in your shit.
Watch The Guy Who Doesn't Like Musicals and you'll understand. It's a song in there, and the cops have a funny song.
Should we,
get to the story? Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, when you find fellow theater kids, you talk about your theater times, okay, guys? Yeah. That's what happens.
Get it.
This episode's gonna be 7 hours long.
Chime off in the comments.
Yeah, if you were a theater kid, chime off. Tell us about your fun times. It's just Nicole.
It's just Nicole.
So, chapter 1. We only see each other at weddings and funerals. I let my head fall against a cold window at the taxi door. The road was bumpy and long, but I knew I was nearly there. Nearly home, if I could even call it that. They used a semicolon properly, though. I think.
Oh, shit.
So, you know what? I'll give them that. Yours couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
The only people I sort of wanted to see were Vanya and Klaus. I was always closest to them, even if Vanya didn't have powers. I tried to make her feel involved, more than once. I had redrawn that little tattoo on our wrists to make her feel like she was part of the academy. Okay, just for a second, pause. You know, Diego was scared of needles, so I always wondered, did he just pass the fuck out while he was getting his tattoo?
Isn't he the one that's getting his tattoo when we see him?
I thought that was Ben.
No, Ben is, sitting in the chair yet to have it happen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that was Diego. I just know the cute little scene in the back where Klaus is comforting Allison.
And they're crying.
Yeah, that was adorable. I need more of that friendship in season 2. Netflix, please give it to me, please. It's canon. She painted his nails under the table. And that little scene in the first episode was precious. So, come on. Mm-hmm. Give me the Klaus and Allison power duo I deserve.
Yes.
I smiled at the thought of seeing her and Klaus, even if I knew Klaus wouldn't be in the right state of mind. He used drugs and alcohol to overpower his powers. He hated seeing and communicating with dead people unless it was Ben. Ben was always with us. All three of us could have a conversation since I could see him too. Once I arrived, I thanked and paid the driver before getting my things and getting out of the car. Once I opened the door, I immediately got a small flashback with children running around, playing. I shook myself back into reality.
Yeah.
I just did the I had a vision Raven face. And I shook myself back into the reality and walked into the hall. I looked to the left and saw Mum, which, by the way, she stated that since she's British, she'll put the British term with, an asterisk, and then at the end of the chapter, she'll translate what it means in British.
In British?
In British.
That's stupid.
I know. And saw Mum. She sat, I think we know that means mom, dude. You don't have to translate that one. She was sat down, recharging. I smiled lightly and continued to Dad's room, where I saw Luther, Allison, and Klaus all discussing something. Luther was first to notice me. God, I need a Luther voice.
Ugh.
Charlotte, he said, smiling. Allison and Klaus...
Dad sent me to the moon!
And Dad sent me to the moon! Those memes are never gonna die. They're just too good because everyone hates them, so it's good. They're always gonna circulate. It's quality. Mm-hmm. Allison and Klaus turned to me too, and Klaus's eyes lit up and a huge smile appeared on his face. Lottie! He said quite loudly. He practically ran towards we. I know they meant me, but they ran towards we. And hugged me lightly. I chuckled and hugged him back, squeezing him, but not hard enough to hurt him. You look amazing, Allison said to me. And you, I said, a pink blush appearing on my cheeks. Klaus stayed standing next to me, and I noticed things on the floor that I presume Luther had made him leave there instead of stealing them. Come on now, Klaus, I said, letting my hand rest on his back as we walked away, letting Allison and Luther talk. I gave my hand a swift motion and discreetly made the items on the floor come out of the room with us as we closed the door behind us. Klaus grinned at me and I winked, putting a finger to my lips. Also, what have you got behind your back? It's inside your jacket, I said. He pulled out a box. It's an inheritance. Yes, on our fortune, he said. I shook my head in disbelief but chuckled anyway. After a while, we all got called to the living room. I was making a drink with Klaus while Luther spoke. I guess we should get this started, he said as Klaus and I sat down. So I figured we could have a sort of memorial service in the courtyard at sundown. Say a few words, just at Dad's favorite spot. Dad had a favorite spot? I asked. Klaus placed his arm around my shoulders and I let my head rest on his shoulder. You know, under the oak tree, Luther said. We used to sit out there all the time. None of you ever did that? Will there be refreshments? Tea? Scones? Cucumber sandwiches are always a winner, Klaus said, and I refrained myself from laughing. What? No. And put that out. Dad didn't allow smoking in here, Luther said. Is that my skirt? Allison asked. Klaus and I couldn't help it this time. I started laughing and Klaus grinned. I forgot how much I loved your laugh, Lottie, he said, pinching my cheeks playfully. Listen here. We ain't even that far in, but I'm just gonna say, Klaus would not get into this yee sweet home Alabama bullshit fuckery.
Agreed.
They want to treat him like he's an idiot, but he's smart enough not to fuck his sister. That's all I'm saying. Listen up. Still some important things we need to discuss, alright? Luther continued, slightly annoyed with me and Klaus. Well, bitch, I'm slightly annoyed with you. I noticed it was a bit cold, so I waved my hand and all the windows snapped shut. I waved it again and the fire lit up, taking the form of a heart that slowly swayed back and forth.
What?
Okay, I have no clue. I noticed Allison smile, as well as Vanya, while Klaus rubbed my shoulder. Oh god, I need a Diego voice. Alright, I'm just, fuck it, I'm doing a Bellamy voice for Diego.
Do it.
Let me get into the Bellamy.
It works.
I like that grand piano. I really like that grand piano. I still can't believe that works. Like what? Diego said, continuing the conversation. Like the way he died, Luther said. And here we go. Diego sighed. I don't understand. I thought they said it was a heart attack, Vanya said. Yeah, according to the coroner, Luther said. Well, wouldn't they know? Vanya asked. Theoretically, Luther mumbled. Theoretically? Allison questioned. I'm just saying, at the very least, something happened. The last time I talked to Dad, he sounded strange. Oh, quell surprise! Klaus gurgled with his drink, nearly spitting it out. I laughed, but quickly silenced myself before causing a scene. Strange how? Allison asked. He sounded on edge. He told me to be careful of who to trust, Luther said. Luther, he was a paranoid, bitter old man who was starting to lose what was left of his marbles, Diego said. I nodded and took a sip of my drink. It doesn't sound like Diego at all, but we're just gonna roll with it.
I like how she's not contributing to the conversation.
I know. She'll just laugh at Klaus. The author will give her one of Klaus's lines. She'll just say something with him. She doesn't chip in much, in general in the story. I nodded and took a sip of my drink. No, he must have known something was going to happen, Luther said. Look, I know you both don't like to do it, but I need one of you to talk to Dad. I looked up and saw Luther staring at Klaus and I. I stiffened and sat up, taking my head off of Klaus's shoulder. He tried to soothe me by rubbing my shoulder lightly. We can't just call Dad in the afterlife and be like, Dad, could you just stop playing tennis with Hitler for a moment and take a quick call? This is so iconic. I love it. It's one of my favorite Klaus lines. It's one of my favorite.
Mm-hmm. I like how he delivers it, too.
Mm-hmm. I love our boy.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie boy, I love you. Klaus said. Since when? That's your thing, Luther pressed. I don't like doing it, and he's not in the right state of mind, I started. You mean he's high? Allison finished. Yeah, I mean, how are you not listening to this nonsense? Klaus said. Well, sober up. This is important, or we'll get little old Lottie to do it, and we all know she hates that, Luther said. Luther, just stop talking. I feel really bad for Tom Hopper, because you can tell he was so excited. He is. You could tell he was, so excited to do this project, and then he had to wear that stupid muscle suit, all day for hours at a time, and then he's just the fandom's butt monkey. Literally. I feel so bad, because he seems so sweet.
And you can tell that he's having fun.
Yeah.
Which I think, makes the character a lot more bearable. When the character's an asshole, it's not the actor's fault. It's the writing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, unless they're supposed to be, a sarcastic dick like Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, even then, he's still fun, but you get my point.
Yeah.
Also, little old Lottie. Ew.
Why is Lottie?
No, that's her name.
No, her name's Scarlett.
No, her name is Charlotte.
Oh,
and her nickname is Lottie. Yeah.
Why Lottie?
I don't know. I would just go with Char on that one. I guess just the lot part.
Yeah.
And so many Charlottes. You won't get that either. Watch the guy who didn't like musicals. I'm trying to get her into...
I am the guy who doesn't like musicals.
Didn't like. That song is probably literally you if a musical apocalypse was happening. You'd be like, nah, fam. Piece of shit. Sorry. She's right here, I mumbled. Then there's the issue of the missing monocle. Who gives a shit about a stupid monocle? Diego said. Exactly, Luther said. It's worthless, so whoever took it, I think it was personal. Someone close to him. Someone with a grudge. Where are you going with this? Klaus asked. Oh, isn't it obvious, Klaus? He thinks one of us killed Dad, Diego said, and I froze. Klaus did too. Luther was silent. You do? Klaus asked. How could you think that? Vanya and I asked. I hate when they have characters say the exact same thing at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm guilty of it in my old fanfic, but still, I don't do it now, so I'm allowed to call it.
Yeah.
I think. Because I learned from it, so it's not, hypocritical, right?
Exactly.
Great job, Luther. Way to lead, Diego said. Luther stuttered. You're crazy, man. You're crazy, Klaus said, standing up. I quickly did, too. He wrapped an arm protectively around my shoulders. I'm not finished, Luther said. Sorry, I'm just gonna go murder Mom. I'll be right back, Klaus said. We walked away and I sighed quietly. Maybe we should try and communicate with Dad, I mumbled, and Klaus looked at me. It's up to you. I mean, you're sober and I'm not, so you'd be able to do it quicker than me, but we can both try if that's what you want. I nodded and he smiled comfortingly. I don't know why I put weird in comfortingly. We went to the room where Dad's urn was and took our shoes off. It only worked with them off. Even though you stated that in the intro, so I don't know why you needed to state it again.
That's a weird thing.
Well, that it only works with them off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not Gerard. I can't give you an answer as to why. Listen up, old man, Klaus said. If I was murdered and two of my children, adopted children, happened to be able to commune with the dead, I might think about, I don't know, manifesting. I gave a small smile, sat down on the edge of the table, swinging my legs back and forth. Do the whole big, angry ghost lecture, tell everyone who done it, and find eternal peace, Klaus continued. Eternal peace is probably overrated, I said, giggling. You okay?
Yeah, why do you ask?
Okay, because you were dying.
Yeah, it's normal.
It's normal. After about 10 minutes, we were both getting bored. Come on now, Reggie, Klaus mumbled. Anytime now, please. Another 10 minutes went by and nothing happened. Just need to sober up, Klaus said, slapping his face. I walked over and took his hands into mine. Breathe, I said. We both took deep breaths for a while, hoping it would work. Hoping it would A, sober him up, and B, help us. It all ended with Klaus tipping over Dad's urn and both of us bursting laughter before we put the ashes back in, which took ages. I'm so mad they're doing the episode quote by quote, but they didn't have them do the chop chop. That was like one of the best Klaus things. We got a few drinks and got slightly crossed out, very drunk. Then music started playing upstairs. Klaus grinned and took me by the hand, spinning me. I squealed and nearly fell, causing us both to laugh. Then a bolt of thunder and lightning, very, very frightening, caused me. Galileo, Figaro. No. Okay. Mamma mia, amigo. Watch us get copyrighted.
Masterpiece of a song.
He knew, right? He knew I hated thunder and lightning. Then Dad's urn flew toward us. I caught it, waving my hand to make sure it came to my arm safely, which, couldn't she have just used her powers to put the ashes back in there? Why did they have to... There are times in this story where they don't have her use her power for plot convenience, and it's just like...
Maybe she's lazy.
No, because she uses them like all the other times, and it's like, if she's lazy, using her power would be less work than scooping them all in there, wouldn't?
I don't fucking know.
I don't...
Maybe
Anyway... After a couple moments... It bothers me. I know. You guys should know by now I look way too deep into this. And this is one of those times. A couple moments after that, a few knives flew and stabbed into the wall. Daddy? Klaus and I both said loudly, looking around. We all went outside. It was just Diego being pissed. We all went outside. You good?
Fine.
Okay. We all went outside and saw what looked like to be a magic hole in the air. Whoa, Diego said. Klaus gripped my hand and held it tightly. What is it? Vanya asked. Don't get too close, Allison said. Yeah, no shit, Diego said.
Sorry, we have several other chapters after this.
Yeah. They're summarized. So I'm not reading them. And I'm not reading the last one either. I summarized that one, so. Because I figured why read it when I had to read this stupid intro thing and this, which is really long. No, the other one, the chapters were even longer. So, yeah. Almost done with it, though. Looks like some sort of temporal anomaly. Either that or a miniature black hole. One of the two, Luther said. Pretty big difference there, Paul Bunyan, Diego called. Everyone got behind Luther and Diego, me holding on to Klaus very tightly and on the verge of crying. Then a hole disappeared and a small boy in school shorts fell to the floor. He got up almost immediately, which was pretty impressive, and my jaw dropped slightly when I saw who it was, or who I thought it was. We all walked towards him and he looked at us. Does anyone else see? Klaus began. Little number 5, or is it just me? I finished. Finish each other's sandwiches. The boy looked...
Don't bring Frozen references into this.
I'm gonna bring whatever references I want.
Don't use Daya.
I just did.
Get the fuck out.
I don't wanna. The boy looked down at himself and sighed. Shit! He said. That'll be the 5 voice, I guess. It's what came out.
What's happening?
That's what happened. We went into the kitchen, me still composing myself as Klaus rubbed my lower back in an attempt to calm me down. What's the date? The exact date? 5 asked. The 24th of March, I said. Good, he mumbled. So are we going to talk about what just happened? Luther said. 5 stayed silent, making a sandwich. I rolled my eyes and sat next to Klaus on the table, resting my head on his shoulder. Been 17 years, Luther said, standing up. It's been a lot longer than that, 5 said. Then he teleported behind Luther to the shelves before teleporting back. Haven't missed that, Luther murmured. Where'd you go? Diego asked. The future, 5 said. It's shit, by the way. Called it! Me and Klaus shouted at each other. No, I did, Klaus said. No, it was me, I argued. Me. Stop flirting, you two, 5 groaned.
This. I hate this.
Mood. Yeah, so we were planning to start recording this at like 8 o'clock, and then she had something come up, and I was so bored, and I was also tired, so I wanted to take a mini nap to recharge for you guys, right? I still hadn't finished it at this point. I had like 5 chapters to still read. It's painful. I'm almost done, though. So. 5 groaned, and I turned bright red before pouting and crossing my arms. I should have listened to the old man. Jumping through space is one thing. Jumping through time is a toss of the dice, 5 said. Why do you think I've never done it? I rolled my eyes. I zoned out for a while and then went to my room to find a dress for the funeral. As I was looking for one, Klaus came in. Hi, Lottie, he said. I turned around and smiled at him. Ooh, this one's nice, Klaus said, reaching in front of me and into the wardrobe to pull out a short black dress. It's really short, though, I said, holding the material between my fingers. It's fine, he said, shoving the dress in my hands. I won't look. He playfully covered his eyes, and I giggled before making him turn around properly. I changed and tapped his shoulder. You look amazing, Lottie, he said breathlessly. I blushed. I do not. I argued, going over to the mirror and looking at myself. Klaus came behind me and hugged me, wrapping his arms around my stomach. Listen, you look beautiful, okay? He said, resting his chin on my shoulder. This is what your bitch means when she says she needs an emotional support, Klaus.
I hate this.
Same.
I hate this.
Was the end of that a burp?
Yes.
Or was that just noise? I honestly couldn't tell after a while if you were just holding out the S or if that was just you burping. I smiled lightly, nodded. He grinned. Great, let's go. We grabbed our matching pink and see-through umbrellas and went outside with the others. Did something happen? Mum asked when we all walked out. Dad died, remember? Allison said, Oh, yes, of course, Mom said, and I frowned. Is Mum okay? Allison asked. Yeah, she's fine. She just needs to rest. Recharge. Diego said, Whenever you're ready, dear boy. Pogo said to Luther.
That's a great Pogo voice.
Thanks, baby. Luther tipped Dad's ashes onto the floor and I sighed. That was so just great. It was just a pile. Probably would have been better with some wind, Luther said. I rolled my eyes. I zoned out again, ignoring everything up until Luther knocked Ben's statue onto the floor. Do you think Ben was like, You bitch? Diego then threw a knife at Luther. I mean, same. Don't we all want to throw a knife at Luther? I waved my hand and the knife froze midair. Everyone turned to look at me. I put my hand down and clenched my fist, making the knife spin around and retreat safely back to Diego. You never know when to stop, do you? I said to him, storming off. Klaus came after me and we went into the kitchen. I flicked my wrist and a cup flew out into the cupboard and into my hands. I flicked it again and the tap turned on. See, she uses her powers all the time. She didn't need to, take that long to put the ashes in there. She could have just been like... Anyway. Hot.
Sorry, I had a soda earlier. I'm a little gassy.
You're fine. But I controlled the water to go cleanly through the air and straight into my cup. And then I turned the tap off and sipped my water. You're not doing it. Don't do it, please. We did it 7 times last week, and I wanted to kill us when editing.
I listened to the episode, and I was like, God, I don't know.
That's me all the time. No, it's especially when I have to hear it, and I edit it, and then I have to listen to it through. And then I do end up watching it, too, to just make sure we're all good, even after I listen to it, and I'm just like... God, having to listen to myself for 3 times. It's like having to hear myself talk for 3 consecutive hours almost. I want to die. I don't know how she does it. How do you deal with me? That's the question.
Shut the fuck up. And read.
Okay. We're almost done with this. I know I keep saying it, but for real. It sounded like that Vine where they squeeze the chicken.
Yeah.
That's what you sound like. I still don't find it fair how you can do all this cool stuff and I'm stuck with something I hate and that doesn't even work half the time, Klaus groaned. It doesn't work half the time because you're not sober, I said. True, Klaus mumbled. Klaus sat down at the table, realizing Vanya had gone home. Allison and Five walked in after a few minutes. Where's Vanya? Allison asked. Oh, she's gone, Klaus mumbled, a cigarette between his fingers while I washed my cup. Girl, you had water in there. Why did you need to wash it? I mean, I know you have to do the dishes, but you don't have to wash it right away. Like, anyway.
It's water. You can just, put it down.
Mm-hmm. That's unfortunate, Five said. Yeah, Allison mumbled. An entire square block, 42 bedrooms, 19 bathrooms, but no, not a single drop of coffee, Five said. Dad hated caffeine, Allison said. He hated children, too, and he had plenty of us, I said. Klaus gave a small laugh. I smiled to myself, leaning against the kitchen counter. I'm taking the car, Five said. Klaus sat up in his seat. Where are you going? To get a decent cup of coffee, Five replied. Do you even know how to drive? Allison asked, crossing her arms. I know how to do everything, Five said before teleporting away. I feel like we should try and stop him, but then again, I also kind of just want to see what happens, Klaus said, standing up. I let out a giggle and put the cleaned cup away. We heard the engine start and the car drive away, and I rolled my eyes. Alright.
I kind of always giggle at one another.
I know. It's fucking... Are you fucking schoolgirls? Like, okay. Alright. I guess I'll see you guys in what? 10 years? When Pogo dies? Diego said, coming into the kitchen. Not if you die first, Allison retorted. Yeah. Love you too, sis, Diego said. Good luck on your next film. Hope it turns out better than your marriage, huh? I gave Diego as he walked out. Klaus came next to me and leaned against the counter with me. Allison walked out and Klaus looked at Diego. Are we leaving? He asked, referring to him, Diego, and me. No, I'm leaving. Me, by myself, Diego said. Oh, fabulous. We'll get our things, Klaus said, ignoring what... I had to do the little clap. Ignoring what Diego had said, he came over to me and took my hand before running upstairs, dragging me with him. We got our things, and just as Diego was about to leave, quickly jumped in the car. Diego drove somewhere random and got out of the car. I sighed and waited around 5 minutes while leaning my head on Klaus's shoulder. Ben's ghost was next to us, but he was silent and tired. Klaus opened the door. Yoo-hoo, Diego, he called. I hate to rush you through any kind of brooding moment you might be having, but come on, man, we're starving. I let out a giggle. There it is again. And Klaus closed the door. He wrapped his arm around my shoulders. That's the other thing. She always has her head on his shoulder, and he always has his arm around her. Like, she's had to retype that so many times.
Ew.
Yeah.
Don't like.
Do not like these.
Don't like.
No.
No.
He wrapped his arm around my shoulders and let his head fall onto mine. I'm craving, Klaus mumbled. Well, I played with his fingers from his free hand. Eggs. It's too late for eggs, I murmured, yawning. Waffles. You like waffles, right? Klaus asked me. Yeah, of course you do. Everyone likes waffles. His voice was raspy and quiet. Diego came... Isn't that just his voice all the time, even when he's loud? Like...
He's not very raspy, though.
It's not, like, extra raspy, but it's like rasp-polite. Kinda. Diego, thank you for joining us. We have decided on drum roll, please, Klaus said, and I made a drum roll noise with my hands on my lap. Waffles. I'm gonna drop you up. Yeah. I almost went into Henry territory there.
Do it.
I'm not doing it. That's your thing.
I'm gonna drop you off at the bus stop.
I'm gonna drop you off at the bus stop. I gotta get back to work, Diego said. What, breaking bones and cracking skulls? I said. Saving lives, baby, Diego replied, turning his rearview mirror. Well, I guess it's frozen waffles again, Klaus said, and I took his hand and messed his fingers, tracing his tattoo. He had one on each palm. The left one said goodbye, and the right one said hello. You say goodbye, and I say hello. Hello, hello. I don't know why you say goodbye. I said hello. Someone needs to do that with Klaus.
Hello.
I could do egg and bacon, Klaus murmured. Only for you, though. Trying to cut down on my pig products. Diego put his mask on and we drove off to the bus stop. I fell asleep on Klaus's shoulder around halfway there, knowing I'd wake back up where everything started. Definitions for this chapter. Mum is mom and wardrobe is closet. Okay, chapter 2. Run, boy, run. Run, boy, run. We're coming to get you.
I love Woodkid. That artist is amazing.
What?
The artist who does that song is named Woodkid, and he's great.
Well, that's what he sounds like. I'm not saying it's bad. I just wanted to sing it.
No, it's not. I know you're not.
Mm-hmm. So they felt... I didn't even know who sang the song. So.
Well,
now I know.
Woodkid, and he's amazing.
Okay, thank you for the education, BB. So they fall asleep next to each other, and then they woke up. Because, like, basically they got drunk the night before. Like, you know that scene in the second episode where it shows Klaus getting, like, high and then stripping down to his little zebra underwear?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's essentially in, like, one of his shirts. He's in his little underwear. They fell asleep next to each other because they got drunk. And I guess at one point she hurt her lip. And, you know, because she's OP, she discovers yet another power and she can heal injuries. And then they test it. And then Pogo comes in, and, you know, he talks to them about the box and everything that went missing. And it cuts to needing both of them to pretend to be his parents. So if you guys watch the show, you know what Klaus says when he's, like, explaining their backstory. It's like, your mother, that slut.
Yeah.
So, obviously, you know, they had to change that, right? Because if she's playing his mom, your dear mother, Lottie, of course, didn't know what to do with you. Me, being the kind, generous father I am, offered all of my support throughout the entire pregnancy and birth, and we've been together ever since. Isn't that right, Lottie? Klaus said. I grinned and nodded. Okay, remember that, Klaus said to Five and me. I nodded and Five did too. Oh my god, this sex was amazing.
I hate this.
Klaus said, and that did it for me. I bust out laughing and Five looked horrified. I mean, yeah! You basically just said sex with your sister was amazing. In front of your older, but looks younger brother. Yeah, so then, you know, they go there. They go there and the whole snow globe happens. Who gave you my consent to lay your hands on my son? Touch your son. Oh, really? And how did he get that swollen lip, then? He doesn't have a swollen lip.
God.
So then, yeah, so he, you know, he smashes the snow globe, and so then she, like, understands the plan, so she kind of follows in suit. Bitch picks up a cactus from his desk, and she's like, how cute, I said before stabbing it into my forehead like Klaus did. I didn't feel very much pain, but I saw a lot of blood drip past my eye, and I knew I had a cut across my forehead. That's my like, okay, and then, you know, the whole thing, we need security now, Chanel! And then and we're gonna tell them that you beat the shit out of us. So yeah, so they're talking, and then he's like, Jesus, you are a real sick bastard, Lance said. I looked at Klaus. Thank you, he said in a low voice, and I'm not gonna lie, he looked so goddamn hot when he did. First of all, I'm not even gonna say brother, it's out there. But second of all, I mean, she's not wrong. It was hot. I mean, is she wrong? Do you...
I mean, when you write, you write.
So then they leave, and she teleports them back home, and then she takes one of his shirts, and then they fall asleep. End of chapter 2. You see how like, quick that went? Because it wasn't fucking... Alright, chapter 3. Also, there are, like, I appreciate that she combined chapters, so that's why there's only 7 chapters. She combined episodes in some chapters, so... From chapter 3 onward, she combined chapters except in 6 and 7 episodes. She combined episodes from, like, 3 to 5, and then 6 and 7 are, like, their own things. So, you know, it makes it shorter for me. Thank you. So chapter 3, Extraordinary / Man on the Moon. So, she's watching Klaus dumpster dive for shit. Like, she's dumpster diving for the box, and she's sitting with Ben on, like, the scaffolding or whatever. And so randomly, they have to keep pointing it out. She has a banana milkshake, which, like, fuck, that sounds really good right now.
Oh, banana milkshakes are like the best.
I don't care if it's 11:31 at night. Give me a banana milkshake.
No, that's when it's the best, bitch.
I don't care. Give me a banana milkshake, beach. So then 5 comes out and talks to him, and she jumps on his back, but he's, like, leaning on the dumpster, so, like, he doesn't really need to support her, like, that much, because he's leaning there, and she, like, rests her chin on his shoulder. And then the whole, that whole conversation happens where he's like, I want to spend time with my brother, me, hermano. I love you, even when you can't love yourself. Again, that's what your bitch means when she says she needs an emotional support, Klaus. I'm just saying. And then, because, of course, she falls, and it's on top of him. And then they hide away in the back of 5's car getting drunk, and Klaus robs the convenience store while 5 and Luther are talking, and he somehow, like, runs back to her, right? And gets her on his back, even though he has all the shit in his hands, because... So then they go back home, and she's laying her head in his lap, and he tells her that's, like, enough when she's drinking more, and Luther tells Klaus that he's, like, one to talk about saying it's enough, because, literal douche monkey. Then Hazel and Cha-Cha take her while she's still drunk, and she sees Klaus in his towel, because, they have to only write her in Klaus's whole plot. Like, they can't give her her own plot. She has to be with Klaus at all times, because... And then they just torture Klaus. Like, they don't really touch her. They might hit her a few times, but they don't really touch her. It's like, okay, sure. Yeah. So, that's a thing that exists. And then this bit right here. So, they strangle him, but he's into it. They were strangling Klaus, and unlike before, I was placed opposite him. The thing is, I knew that strangling him wouldn't do anything, because guess what? Klaus was a kinky little shit, and strangling had always turned him on. You shouldn't know that about your brother. You shouldn't know that about your brother.
I'm uncomfortable.
And then, our bitch Zoya Popova shows up. And then blah, 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 Patch comes and frees them, and then they take the briefcase. And so, essentially, just to say fuck you, instead of, they just, like, wrote out Dave completely. Because, so when they open the briefcase, instead of going to Nam, they go to the future, and they see what 5 meant when, like, everything was destroyed. And so they were trapped there for a few days, and, because plot convenience, her powers were weak. But then she finds the briefcase, and then they go home. End of chapter 3. I know. So, chapter 4, number 5 / the day that wasn't. So, she talks about how using the briefcase somehow used her powers, and then her and Klaus have a bath Alabama style. Essentially, I don't know if he was in the bath with her, but it says that he helped her clean off, and they didn't do that since they were, like, little, so that's why I assumed he was in the bathtub with her, but I don't know. Either way, it's gross.
I don't like that it's just like, oh, I remember you, LOL, and now it's just like, ha ha ha, let's, like, be cute and, like, fucking flirt all the time, and now they're just like, let's bathe each other!
Let's bathe each other like fucking cats!
Like, ew, ew! That's gross.
I know it's gross, that was the point.
And you're right, it's gross.
It's still gross. Because they're related. He gives her one of his shirts, and then 5 comes in and talks to them about time travel. And then Klaus puts her on his back and just walks out of the room. And it cuts to and then it just cuts.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Too much head on shoulder, too much wearing his shirts. And
too much her on his back. Yeah.
And too much incest.
Seriously, though, I tried to find a Klaus fic on here that wasn't like, oh, you're also a Hargreeves? I could not do it.
Y'all need to step up.
Y'all need Jesus. So then it just cuts to the shootout and them in the ice cream truck with Diego. And she has a bit of a panic attack with the shooting, like reminding her of the apocalypse. And then and then basically, like, Klaus carries her to the car. And then she falls asleep with him holding her in the car. And then the next morning, she's puking up a storm, and Luther comes in and asks them to meet him downstairs. And he talks about how the world will end in 3 days, so they need to go through Reggie Boy's stuff to find a way to stop it. And so she's and then she's with them when Klaus needs to get, like, sobered up by being tied up. Which, if Dave isn't in this story, I don't understand the point of him needing to do that. Because that was the whole point of why he wanted to get sober, was so he could see Dave. Anyway.
This truly is writing out his sexuality.
It is.
Also, Dave was a good character for character development.
I hope we see more of him in season 2. I know that's why they changed it from the comics.
Yeah, well, in the comics, he doesn't fall in love with anyone.
Not the comics. I mean, the original plan.
Yeah, the original plan was that it was a Vietnamese woman, but I like that.
And that she was
a Vietnam veteran.
Yeah, and then that he finds her son, and then he talks to her in like an old folks' home. But then they changed it to Dave to bring him back in other seasons. So I hope we see that. And I don't want them to try to make him like mourn Dave for the entire show. So what I'm really hoping for next season is that they'll have him like still like see Dave and like talk with Dave, but then Dave will like he knows that Klaus will need to move on, so he tells him, but it's like really sweet. Like that's what I want, because I don't want them to try to like keep Klaus in this absolutely miserable state the entire time over Dave, because my boy deserves love and not to be hung up on his boy, even though they're adorable. Like, and he has every right to mourn, obviously, but I don't want them to.
If he can find another boy, makes him happy.
Or or girl.
Or neither.
Yeah. As long as Klaus gets love, that's like.
As long as Klaus is happy.
As long as Klaus is happy, that's all that matters. That's like the mantra of the fandom. As long as Klaus is happy, we gonna be good. Which, I mean, if Netflix doesn't randomly cancel the show out of the blue and actually gives it, like, the 8 seasons that Gerard was mentioning, it's gonna be a long road till we get Klaus happiness.
Let's go!
I'm ready! Strap in! And then it cuts to earlier, again, when Luther asks to talk with them and Five comes in, and he tells them that they all need to fight together to stop the apocalypse, and he tells them about Harold. Chapter 5. The Day That Was / I heard a rumor. I did the hand thing again. So Five explains the commission and his time there to them, and they're about to get into action when Luther wants to look for moon things. But Allison says they have to stick together, but Diego is like, no, fuck that, and then asks her and Klaus to come with him. But Klaus says they'll pass because they don't feel good, and then she tries to get her to tie him up to get sober instead of Diego, because it's just them. And she says no. And then, Luther, being his monkey douche self, shoves Klaus into the wall. And then, like we've established, she has all of their powers. Hey, I said, he didn't put him firmly, but he didn't put him down. I heard a rumor that you put Klaus down. So he, like, sticks him on the couch or whatever. And then she has a panic attack, and he tries to calm her down, and he can't. So, naturally, because when someone's having a panic attack, you should do this. He kisses her.
No,
and then it works. And then it somehow works, and then he apologizes, and then she kisses him again. And he's like, I'm sorry, like, you probably don't like me. And she's like, I do. And he's like, what? And she's like, I like you. And he's like, you do? And she's like, yeah. And then again. And then he asks her to be his girlfriend. And then she says, why in the hell would I say no? And then Ben is like, called it. And they're like, shut up. So then they go to look for Luther, and the whole wakey wakey, eggs and Becky. And Luther had sex with that chick who's a furry. Out of context to anyone who hasn't seen the show, this is probably sounding so weird.
I love that bit.
Yeah, and then they joke around a bit, the whole, now you're gonna have to marry her.
That line got me so off guard.
It was so good. But then they tell him to come downstairs. And with them for a family meeting. So instead of dying and seeing Reggie and getting clean to see Dave, because, they said fuck Dave lives. They just had Klaus get clean so he could conjure Reggie. And Klaus says that he killed himself, and Pogo explains how he helped him and why he did it. They go to sibling snuggle. Essentially, it's regular snuggling, he's laying, she has her head on his chest, they're like, yeah. And then Five comes in and sees them, and he gets shook. Before saying that it's weird how Reggie Boy conveniently did it, like, killed himself a week before the apocalypse happens without knowing the date. And he tells them that they're going to stop the apocalypse, and then Diego comes in explaining where he's been, and Five says he doesn't know where Luther's at. And then Diego cuts in saying that Allison is in danger, and they find Luther at a bar, and Diego is going to slap some sense into him. Klaus is like, oh, okay, come on. Maybe they'll brood each other to death. And then they leave with Luther, and they find Allison on the floor with her throat slit, and the body starts crying, and Klaus holds her because, plot convenient, she can't use her healing powers. Chapter 6, Changes. So they bring Allison home, and they find out one of them has to give blood. You know the drill. Luther volunteers, but he can't because monkey. Klaus does, but he can't because drugs. And then Diego does and faints because the baby's fear of needles being adorable. But then, instead of just making Diego do it anyway, they make her do it because she has to do everything. And then it cuts to Klaus looking for drugs and Ben Patrick Swayzeing him. And they all go to Harold's house and find him dead. And she tells him, all about how he died, except she doesn't know who killed him. And then they go back home, and she's tired, so, Klaus carries her up to I think it's his room. And then he tucks her in, and she sees him playing patty cake with Ben. That scene was so adorable.
Mm-hmm.
When she wakes up, she finds out they locked Vanya up. So last chapter, White Violin, and I'm not reading it because it's 74 hours long. So the the academy is collapsing, and they're running out. Ben saves them all, but Diego thought it was Klaus, and both her and Diego are upset about it. And Grace, both her and Diego, are you okay?
I sneezed.
Oh, okay. I thought that was, I don't know why it sounded like a cough, but alright. Bless you. Bless your face. So then her and Diego are upset about Grace, but they have to keep moving, and then cuts to the bowling alley, and she cut out the joke with Klaus and Diego, and I'm upset about it.
That's a good joke.
I know! Yeah, she changed it, and she's like, if it's okay with your mom and dad. No.
Nope.
I knew she was probably gonna cut it out, but I just thought she was gonna cut it out entirely.
She cut out all the gay. It's not
She
fun
did.
gay.
And that joke was so good, especially and if I was gonna date a man, I wouldn't date you. Have me. Which I didn't hear initially. And then I was like, oh shit, okay, he actually said that. Cool, that's great. I think that's probably what sparked Diego being bi, is widely accepted. Listen, we all know if he's gonna date a man, it's gonna be Matt Murdock. Let me live in my delusion, okay? It's such a good crack ship.
I'm not saying anything, bitch.
I'm just saying, for anyone who has a problem with it, let me live in my delusion.
Anyone who has a problem with anything can fuck off.
So, yeah, and then the shootout happens. Maybe they're here for Kenny's birthday. And then they all head to the theater where Vanya is, and, when he locked her up, Luther fucks everything up by coming in. And Klaus manifests Ben and uses his power to fight off the gunman, but then she gets shot. But it doesn't matter. They made it sound like she was gonna die, but then she just heals herself enough so she can walk. And then Vanya has, all her and the guys, suspended in the air. And then Allison knocks her out. And then Five asks her to help him. And they all time travel back to when they were 13 to fix Vanya. The end. They didn't even try to give, an ending. They just ended it where the show ended. So it's but yeah. And that's the story of
there wasn't even
a bunch of incest.
Smut.
I told you there was no smut when you said there was no smut in yours.
I know, but there's...
I don't want to read sibling banging.
No, but...
I know you don't either,
in terms of a writing...
Yeah, so that was this week. This is going to be a bitch to edit. I already know that. That'll be fun. Yeah, I think that's about it. Closing thoughts?
I'm tired. I'm tired.
You're tired. I'm not tired, but it's only because I had the nap, and I, had a lot of caffeine before this. So.
Oh, wait, I want to mention the tweet I sent you yesterday.
Oh, that's the tweet!
And that's the tweet.
Okay.
This is the funniest. Let's read it. It says, we shot some videos with Robert Sheehan, and he wore this sexy kind of see-through string t-shirt thing, and yeah, that's the tweet. That is from Netflix UK and Ireland. UK and Ireland, you go, girl.
So next week's theme is the 100.
The 100.
We got a new trailer and it basically still showed us nothing. But there was a doggo in it, and now I'm upset that we got robbed of seeing Jasper with a puppy.
I mean, we had this conversation before.
I know we did on Instagram, but like, I didn't even know that. I didn't even see that, and I also don't think most people knew that either because everybody was acting like, oh my god, there's a puppy! Jason, if you hurt the puppy!
I mean,
which he probably will.
Killed off the first puppy because he doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, I don't think many people knew he was there in the first place because I've never saw any posts about him.
He was a hound.
His name is Chewy.
His name is Chewy.
It's Marie's dog. He's really cute.
But he was in the show. I distinctly remember there being scenes where it started, like, it panned over from him just being a dog.
Just being a dog.
To, like, some actual shit.
Sound
off in the comments if you remember Chewy being in the show.
We got robbed of seeing Jasper with a puppy in general, and now that I know Chewy was there, we got robbed of him trying to ride Chewy.
Have you ever seen any picture with Devin with a dog? It's delightful. There's several.
It's a puppy with a puppy.
There's that one. I don't know if anyone else saved it.
He also needs to do a BuzzFeed puppy interview like Robert.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
Oh my god, okay, so there's this one picture of Robert, right? And it's on set, and he's, I think he's, like, in the blue V-neck, and he's with, first of all, let me just say, it meant a lot to me, because it's, like, my favorite breed of dog. It's, like, all the dog I've had in my life. But it was Robert with a German Shepherd, and they radiated the exact same energy, like, looking in the same direction. It was so cute!
German Shepherds are overrated. You know what I like? You know what kind of dog I dream of having?
What do you dream of having?
It's called a Mexican hairless, otherwise known as a Zolo. And they're hairless except for at the end of their tail and the top of their head, which is usually made into a mohawk, and they're all black, and they're fucking cute.
They're fucking cute.
To work to have
I don't like hairless dogs. I'm like, no, I want a furry puppy.
I like hairless puppies. And this one guy who brings it into, like, my work every now and then, his puppy, she's a puppy, first of all. She's not, like, fully grown yet. But she has the mohawk, and she's so friendly.
That's good for you.
Her.
Me working in a pet store would be terrible because I just steal all the damn dogs. Be like, these are mine now, bye.
Oh no, there's too many dogs you see in a day to be like, all of them. Like, you're like, I'm gonna take one.
I'm gonna take a few.
Specifically, this guy's solo.
It was just a really cute picture, okay? I've had them all my life, so they mean a lot to me.
Speaking of pictures.
So there's a picture of Devin with the puppy.
There's a picture of Devin with a puppy.
Need we say more? It's a puppy with a puppy. Oh my god. So there was this tweet and it said, Devin and Robert need to play brothers in a movie. Could you imagine if they did a BuzzFeed puppy interview together?
Oh my god. Triple the puppy?
Triple puppy cubed.
Puppy cubed.
That's 3, right? Because 2 is squared?
Yeah, you're right.
Listen, guys, I don't do math, okay?
I haven't done math class in a while.
I suck at math. I finished it, like, I think last year. I don't know. Freshman year, I finished it, and I'm almost about to be a junior next semester. So, like, you get my point. I don't need to math, and I'm gonna try to avoid mathing for as long as I possibly can.
Yep, agreed.
We're theater people, we don't do math.
We're theater people. The only math we do is, like, how high the curtains need to be. We don't call them curtains. We call them blacks because they're big and they're the color of black.
The color of black.
It's not being racist. It's really thick velvet curtains.
Oh my god. Alright. So I think, so follow the podcast and everything. Our things are going to be down there. And I also realized that I never put our email in the description, and I probably should if you guys want to send us stuff. I just realized that when uploading that. Stuff. Yeah, I mean, you can send us stuff anywhere. It doesn't just have to be through the email, but I realized that when I was uploading, I was like, oh shit, I should probably do that. But I didn't feel like editing the other descriptions to do it. So
maybe send us your favorite bad guilty pleasure fic. Maybe send us how you got into fan fiction.
Yeah, we'll read fun things. I think we should read, like, one comment, like our favorite comment. If we get any comments on the week, we read our favorite comment. So guys, comment, please, engage.
Please talk to us.
We're so lonely. We only have each other. So yeah, send us stuff. All of our social medias will be down below. All of our personal social medias will be down below. And also, that is not a box will be linked below.
Not a box.
That'll probably be the first link. Because I always put the extra link on the top. You guys know that if you've actually read the descriptions. So, yeah. I think that's about it. Bye!